Welcome everybody. We are now entering the part of the course where you not only get to apply what you've learned, but you also get to cover macroeconomic topics that are important in our lives. The two key chapters for this week are chapters 14 and 17. I've assigned readings from other chapters, but they simply provide background information to the topic in those two chapters. The first issue we look at in chapter 14 are the causes of the Great Recession and why it's posed such difficult policy problems for both political leaders and the Federal Reserve. In order to provide an explanation of the Great Recession, Chapter 14 introduces a risk premium into the short-run model. The risk premium essentially creates a wedge between the federal funds rate and long-term interest rates. Typically, as you know, during economic distress, the Fed lowers the federal funds rate, but during the Great Recession, we also saw a dramatic increase in the risk premium, which caused long-term interest rates to remain high relative to the federal funds rate. Borrowing essentially, rather than becoming less expensive for consumers and firms, became more expensive. The Fed in turn was forced to adopt unconventional policies. In Chapter 17, we move away from any formal modeling or any business cycle concerns, and instead focus on the key drivers of the long-term fiscal imbalances facing the United States and other rich nations. While the long-term challenges do demand our attention, since we are on an unsustainable path, especially with regards to healthcare expenditures, the short-term picture is not entirely bleak. You'll see in this chapter that the experience after World War II provides solid evidence that temporary deficits are unlikely to cause short-term to medium-term trouble for a country like the United States. With the Great Recession and the Economic Stimulus Act, we have seen sharp increases in federal government deficits and debt. But even with the sharp increases in our deficits and debt, our situation is not anywhere near the levels reached during World War II, where the federal government deficit was over 25% of GDP and federal debt was more than 100% of GDP. Moreover, that period between 1946 and the 1960s was considered a golden age of the U.S. economy. I hope you enjoy these two chapters, and good luck in the coming week. And as a footnote, the team papers are graded, but Professor Hill and I are comparing our grades.